What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Martin, aka Level, here, back today with another video. Ladies and gentlemen, here with something a little bit special, a little bit different than you normally would see on the channel. Q&A, questions and answers by me, the homie. Questions asked by you guys. I put a post yesterday, I believe, kind of late, early Friday night going into Saturday. I believe I asked you guys a question. What would you like to ask me? I'm doing a Q&A video and I got a couple of responses. And so I thought I'd answer to your guys' questions. Anything that you may want to know more about me, maybe more about the channel, my life. Most of y'all call me Nurse Martin. You know that I'm a nurse. I saw that there were a couple nursing questions in there as well. So definitely interesting. Something I've wanted to do for a while, just didn't know exactly when to do it. And then finally I just made the post yesterday. I thought today would be a special day, a special kind of upload, something that we don't normally see on the channel. So just to kind of get a little bit more insight into who I am and connecting me to you guys and developing that relationship a little bit better. So thought this would have been pretty cool. Hope you guys enjoy. Let's not waste more time. Let's get right into it. You had some questions and I got some answers. So before we start, it would be nice if you guys could please hit that like button, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel, as all these things help with the channel moving forward. And without any further ado, let's get into the Q&A video. All right, we're going to start with the first question. Question number one was actually asked by somebody who has been on the channel for quite some time, and has definitely been a real big supporter. That is at Sunny Eternal Army. Sunny is definitely somebody that I see quite often, giving lots of shout out, especially in the Bora lives as well. I'd be seeing you all the time there, Sunny. So shout out to you there, and always showing love and support underneath my videos as well. So very happy to see that you commented something as well. But here we go. At first it said, I got 2 questions for you, and then it ends with 6 questions. So we're going to go through all 6 just for Sunny, again, for being such a great supporter. Every question that was asked on that post will be answered today. So let's go ahead and go to question 1. Sunny asked, why did you choose becoming a nurse, and what do you love most about your job? Very good question. It's actually kind of a sad story. I'm going to be real honest with you guys, but I'll try to make it quick. I believe when I was in, I want to say 8th grade, I remember my mom coming to get me at middle school. She came to pick me up early, and something about the day just kind of felt off. You know, there was kind of like a gloominess in the air. I remember it was raining all day. It was super cloudy, and my mom came to pick me up early from school. Well, when we got into the car after she had checked me out, I actually was informed we were headed to the hospital. Things were not looking good for my grandpa. When we got to the hospital, I remember that my family was kind of gathered in a room, and we were all kind of huddled up there together. Everybody was able to go see my grandpa one at a time. They were doing this because at this point they didn't know if he was going to make it or not. And they were like, Martin, my brother's name is Isaac. And they asked my mom for us 3 to go, go see him and stuff like that before it's too late. I remember when we walked into the hallway, you're kind of looking down a long hallway. His room was the door at the very end of the hallway facing out towards us. And we probably made it about 15 feet away, and the blue light above his room started going off, and the nurses started running into the room. If you don't know, when there is a code blue, an alarm will kind of go off for that room. Let me just say this. If you've never heard a code blue alarm, it is something that's kind of pierced my heart, and I think it's probably because of that day. It's a scary sound. It's not, most alarms are like your tornado sirens or a fire alarm. They're not pleasant to hear, but something about a code blue alarm is not pleasant to the heart, to the ear. It's an alarm that when you hear it, something is wrong. One of the nurses immediately grabbed my mom and me and my brother and told us that we needed to go back to that waiting room, and that they would come get us in a moment when he was stable, and that way we could go and see him. He ended up passing. And I remember when the doctor that was overseeing him came in to address my family that he was gone, he didn't really care. He didn't have any sympathy. He came off as a real, excuse my language, but a douchebag. And let me just say that most doctors are, for the most part, pretty mean. They are. About 50% of them are just don't really care. I mean, they kind of have to have that mentality just because they deal with death and loss and stuff like that so much. I mean, I get it. But even as a nurse who has also gone through experiences like this in my own personal life and through work, I've never seen the reasoning for not being sympathetic or showing that empathy and sympathy towards the family that has just lost somebody. Ever since that day, the way the doctor treated me and my family as if it, oh, well, he's dead. And I remember he said that. His words exactly were, he asked my grandma, what happened? My grandma was explaining it to him, and he's like, oh, well, he's dead. And I remember that's almost like exactly the way he said it. The way he just said it to us was like he didn't care whether he died or not. From that moment, I knew I always wanted to be a nurse. I'm sorry that this answer was actually pretty long for one question, but never wanted to I never wanted to have a family go through anything like that ever again if I had anything to say about it, because the way he made me and my family feel, on top of how we were already feeling with him being in the hospital, didn't help. And it was just the worst experience ever, on top of everything he just did, acting like he didn't care. And so I always told myself I either want to be a doctor or a nurse. And I kind of fell more so to nursing, because usually they are the more sympathetic and show a lot more empathy. So I became a nurse. And I did it because I never wanted to see another family or kid my age ever feel like they had to go through something like that alone, if I could, have any say so in it, or if I could do my best to make sure that their family member got back into good health or anything like that. I just wanted to and make a difference in a family's lives in a whole different way than the way that doctor made us feel. Like I said, I wanted to be the complete opposite of him. And somehow, some way, I fell into nursing, and it kind of just fit right. And so that's kind of everything that led to me being a nurse. But most of you don't probably know that happened when I was in 8th grade. I had said from the time I was 4 till I was in 8th grade, I always wanted to be a lawyer. The day that happened, the lawyer thought went out completely, and I never wanted to be a lawyer again. I always wanted to be a nurse or a doctor from that day, and I fell into nursing. Okay, question 2 from Sunny says, why did you start? And then I guess the second part of that question, I'll make it a little bit more just simpler. What do you love most about your job? And I think that's the interaction that I have with my patients, just to see the impact and the smile that I can bring onto a person's face. Because let's be honest, or you go to a doctor, you're not feeling well, the difference I can make in that person's life in just a short amount of time to brighten up their day, to make them feel a little bit better. Almost, my goal is to try to make them feel like feel and forget that they're even sick. You know what I'm saying? I want them to feel more lively. Like I said, you're not feeling well when you're sick or you're having to go to the doctor and stuff like that. My goal is to try to take your mindset away from that and get you in a better mood, because being at the doctor's office or clinic, for some people, including even myself at times when I'm sick, not working, but when I'm sick, nobody ever wants to go to the doctor, and so I just try to make that difference. And I think that conversation and brief interactions that I have with my patients is the best part of my job. Okay, question 2 by Sunny. Why did you start to react to BTS in the first place? Well, if you remember, if anybody has been on the channel long enough, you remember this reaction. Oh! Damn. Ever since that day, something changed. Like I said, I knew of BTS, but really at the time didn't, or even before then, didn't care to know who they were. Like, I wasn't interested in their music. I didn't care. I didn't even know JK was a part of BTS. I didn't know the individual members. I just knew the group BTS, and that was about it. Watching that, something about how JK performed just took off, and his vocals, his movements, his stunning physical appearance, everything about JK just screamed wow to me. And to this day, Standing Next to You is still my favorite song of all time. Since that day and that reaction, it is my favorite song of all time. I will never forget that reaction that I did. And ever since then, I wanted to know more about JK. Well, in knowing more about JK, I had more people in the comment section being like, if you love JK, you're gonna love BTS. You're gonna love everything about them. If you're serious about knowing more about who he is, you have to know more about where it started for him. And that's kind of where the BTS reactions came into play. And I haven't looked back since. And I'm glad I did it. Question 3 by Sunny says, when did you feel the first time that you were becoming an ARMY? And I honestly think this was when the community was starting to accept me a little bit, because when the community was starting to compliment, and say good things about the things I was saying about the group, when they were trying to help me understand things better, maybe I didn't understand something or I wanted to know more about something, that's when I really started to feel like I was a part of something. I've always known that I belonged somewhere. I just didn't know where I belonged kind of in this world. And it's something personal that I've always kind of struggled with, is I know I have a purpose in this life. I just don't know what that purpose is, or where I may fit in at times. So watching ARMY throughout all my reactions help me, support me, want me to be a better person as much as I wanted to be a better person, and grow with the channel and with the boys and their music and their just everything. When ARMY started to make me feel welcomed and show that love and support, that's when I started feeling like I was a part of something, that I was a part of ARMY, and that I was an ARMY, not only through BTS's music, but it's one thing to love the music and the boys and everything, but maybe the community just doesn't accept you. And that's not the case with ARMY. ARMY was the final straw and the thing that sealed the deal to make me finally feel like I was a part of something. Number 4, what are your hobbies? Well, as most of you know, my favorite and primary hobby is YouTubing. This is my favorite thing to do. Outside of YouTubing, my second favorite thing to do is I love playing video games, which is why I have the gaming channel that I did. At first, YouTubing for me was supposed to only be gaming. As time went on, I was like, you know what? I would like to react and game as well. Well, in the process of doing reactions, I kind of pushed gaming away. I would do it personally, like off camera, like I would just game by myself. But that was the point of me always wanting to do YouTubing, was the gaming aspect. I've always wanted and dreamed of having a YouTube gaming channel. And so that's why I kind of, as of recently, kind of created one separately. So that way I could still fulfill that dream of being able to do so, while at the same time doing the reactions here with BTS. I never thought that BTS reactions would ever be a part of my life. And now this is my main focus. The gaming, I'm gladly going to push to the side and make the gaming channel my second priority, because my whole goal and mindset has completely changed. The BTS channel, the BTS reactions, this is what I want to do. So gaming has been pushed to the side, but that's okay. I do have my other gaming channel that I've been uploading, trying to upload regularly. I even have some of you guys over there supporting me over there, so I do love and appreciate that as well. Especially, I got to give shouts out to my homegirl Jade. She is somebody who goes onto the gaming channel and shows lots of love and support there as well. And so shout out to all of you who also go over there to love and support. But I do game a lot, primarily Call of Duty. I've been playing a lot of the Walking Dead series recently and started to get into God of War, but with a lot of new games coming out soon, it's gonna be crazy. I've looked into a lot of the new games that are coming out this year, and I think if you're a gamer, you might want to consider just following me over there, because I think it's something that you definitely will enjoy, because I love gaming. So if you love gaming, and if you want to show some support, if not, that's completely okay. It will not hurt my feelings. I love gaming. Gaming has always been like my favorite thing to do outside of anything, school, whatever. Gaming has always been my getaway. And now that I have BTS, gaming is my second, getaway from all the stress and hard work that we go through like daily. It's nice to just kind of get away for a while. I was going back to the gym, and then as of recently, for the past like month, I haven't gone. I've kind of noticed a difference in my physique again, especially when I was starting to lose quite a bit of weight. And now we're putting the weight back on. So I need to get back into the gym, but I love going to the gym. And I would probably say the third or fourth thing would be softball. For most of y'all that don't know, I do play in a softball league as well. I'm not sure if I'm going to be playing this upcoming session moving forward, but I do play in a softball league too. And it's definitely fun. So it's definitely fun. And I'm trying to consider whether I want to do it again moving forward, just because I want to dedicate so much to the gaming channel and to specifically this channel as well. YouTube has kind of become, I would love to do this full time, but it definitely has taken over my life, and I'm gladly letting it, because I'm having so much fun with you guys and BTS, and with the boys returning pretty soon. Yeah, I don't want to stop. I want to keep moving, and I want to learn more, or as much as I can, by the time they get here. Question 5, did you listen to them or watch the music video slash other content off camera? For most of y'all that don't know, some of y'all have kind of hinted to me to watch stuff or to learn and stuff like that off camera. I don't like doing that, only because on my channel I like to do just first reactions. Now I will say this, when it comes to new content, I don't watch new content or anything like that outside off camera. All the new content you see is a first time reaction. All the stuff that you see on the channel is the first time I've ever reacted to it. Now, in saying that, all the stuff I've already reacted to, yes. Off camera, I listen to nothing but BTS pretty much all day, or go back and rewatch a lot of the stuff that I've already watched, like Bon Voyage or a couple of run episodes that I've gotten to, or anything like that. I go back to rewatch all the older stuff I've watched over and over and over again. I do that, but I will say I listen to nothing but BTS songs all freaking day. I don't know if y'all guys, I have my own like playlist, and I mean, it's just loaded with songs of BTS, specifically whether it's them as solo artists doing their own thing or as a group. I have my own playlist. It gets played every single day, whether I'm in the car, I'm in the shower, or I'm getting ready to prep, you know, to do a video for the day. Yeah, BTS music is constantly playing in this house or outside in my life 24/7. And last question from Sunny. Again, I'm sorry that this has taken so long, but I did have to get this kind of, you know, out there for the homegirl, for Sunny. What makes you feel the most connected to BTS and Army? With BTS, I probably would have to say, their personalities were the first thing that made me drawn to them. Like, yes, I love their music and stuff, of course, but I know of a lot of artists out there. I think we all can probably agree with a couple of artists out there, not them at all, who make great music, but outside of music, like, they can be mean to the media. They can kind of be a jerk to other celebrities or other artists and stuff. It's one thing to be an amazing artist like they are, but who they are in their music is exactly who they are off camera. What you see with BTS is what you get. And that's what really drew them to me. That love and respect that they have for themselves, each other, and everyone out here in this world. If you've never met them and you're meeting them now for the first time, they are going to treat you with the love and respect that they treat each other, who they've known for years. And that's what really makes me drawn to them. And probably Army as well, because Army follows in their footsteps as well, treating others with so much love and respect. Like I said, that's because of Army. That's what made me feel like I actually was a part of them, is when they started to accept me. They started to help me show that love and support the same way BTS does for everybody else. That connection, I hope this makes sense, and I hope I'm understanding this question correctly. But the personalities of the boys is what really drew me to them. It's what really sparked and started that connection, and really sealed it for me. Even though their music is what grasped my attention, what really showed and connected me to them was their positivity, love, and messages that they display to everyone, you know, to anyone and everyone. And then Army doing the same thing as well, but showing that same love in return to me. It's definitely that for sure. That's the connection. And that's what makes me feel the most connected to them, is that love and support that is constantly shown all the time. Second question out there is by and Sprite.
And Sprite.
That is probably one of the funniest names I've ever heard of in my life. And you know why. I love that clip by J-Hope. It says, how long have you been a nurse for? So I actually graduated from nursing school in 2020. I graduated with my basic nursing license. I won't lie to you guys. I mean, I'm very open and honest with you guys. You guys know that I am going back to nursing school actually in January. And the reason for that is when I graduated nursing school originally in 2020, I graduated with my LVN, which is kind of the basic level license. For nurses. I got that in 2020, so I've been a nurse for almost 4.5 years now, going on to 5. And I actually was supposed to graduate with my LVN and then immediately go into the RN program, which is the next level of a nurse. And that program I was supposed to go through here at Covenant here in Lubbock, Texas. It's only like a 6-7 month program, and I was supposed to go into that immediately. At the time I was living with my parents. Things kind of were, I'm not gonna say, I'm gonna say hectic, just because things were a little bit not crazy or you know, it just kind of put me in a spot where I couldn't go back in immediately. And I just was kind of trying to look out for everybody else or for myself, and trying to do, you know, in case things went wrong, there was an income that was steady enough to kind of help. And it's kind of hard to explain, but I should have gone back and I didn't. My mom would tell me all the time, like, Martin, you need to go back. It's going to be harder the longer you take off. It's all on me. It's kind of hard to explain, but I should have gone in almost immediately right after I graduated from the LVN program, and I did not. So I actually am going back to the RN program and gonna get my 6-7 months done starting in January of 2026. And I've kind of brought this up in the past. That means the channel might take a small hit, but I don't know if anything changes. If for some reason, because now I would love to do YouTubing full time. I love being a nurse. I absolutely love it. But if for some reason I could afford to do this full time, and not have to go back, then I wouldn't go back. Not that money is an issue at all. And again, I'm not trying to brag, but this is my dream job, is doing YouTubing, like dream. And I say like, in a sense of, I would love to do this. Whereas nursing is like, I guess the more like realistic, cause not everybody can do YouTubing full time. Nursing is definitely the realistic job for me that I absolutely 100% love. But if I could do anything on this earth, I would love to do BTS content, BTS reactions, YouTubing full time. If I was put in a position that I didn't have to go back to RN school, then I definitely would do this full time and not go back. I'm going to be real honest with y'all. If by the end of the year, something doesn't change, and, you know, and I'm uploading content, but maybe I just haven't grown to a level that allows me to do that, then I go back to RN school, which is fine. It's just upgrading me to the next level, which means obviously more income, more stuff like that and stuff. And so if I have the opportunity to do it, then I'm gonna do it, you know what I'm saying? But like, if for some reason YouTubing just took off for me, I could do this full time, stay at home, give you guys lots of content every single day, then I would do this and not go back. But it's kind of tricky. But yes, I have been a nurse for about 4.5, almost 5 years now, and love every bit of it. And we'll go back to get my next level, which is the RN, in January of 2026. Next question comes from, and I hope I say this right, Woong K-pop? K-I-pop? I think I'm gonna just say Woong K-pop. Well, that's what I'm gonna say. If you could choose one member, maybe two, if you can't just choose one, to sit down and have a meal / conversation with, who would it be? That is a very good question. First person that comes to mind is actually Suga, and it's probably because of Sashwita, and also because something about just Suga's mindset. They all pretty much have like deep, like really, really deep thoughts, but something about Suga's mind, I would just love to explore, learn more about him, getting into the mindset of who he is, what he thinks about and stuff like that. Suga would be the first person I would pick. And yes, it would be hard to choose amongst the 7, but Suga, if I could only pick one, I would pick Suga. If you're allowing me to, like your question says, then I probably would say JK would be my second pick. And a little bit of the biasness there, a little bit, I won't lie to you. He's the youngest of the 7 brothers. I'm the youngest of me and my brother. I just want to kind of, on like the baby of my brother and the baby of the group, kind of have that conversation with him of how being the youngest maybe took a toll on him and stuff like that while being in the group. You know, everybody looks to him, they, you know, kind of protect him and things like that as well. I just would want to get in the mindset of what it was like to be the youngest in the group for him. And I think having those conversations with him would be really, really interesting. And so Suga and JK, those would have to be my 2. Woong K-pop, Woong actually asked another question that I feel like I have to address, because this is a really good question as well. It says, I'm on my way to becoming a nurse. I found it so cool when I found out you were one. Do you have any tips to survive nursing school? This is a really good question. I love that you asked me this question because I feel like people who are getting into the nursing program definitely need to know what they're getting themselves into. Which is why I'm a little bit scared with what I'm about to say when it comes to me having to go back in January for the RN program. When you get into the nursing program, be expected to miss out on everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. You're gonna miss the most important events, maybe birthdays, possibly weddings, get-togethers. It's gonna become I won't lie, a pretty tough time in your life, but just know that it's very, very, very much worth it. It's to take a year or two to focus on you, to better yourself, get your career in order, get yourself in track, figure out more about yourself. This is the time where maybe your whole life you've maybe focused on others, you've paid attention to others, you put others before you. This is the time when I ask that you put yourself before anybody else. You don't want outside stressors or outside, drama or anything to affect what's going on in the classroom and in nursing school. So just know and be prepared to maybe lose some friends because you don't get to go hang out as much. You don't maybe get to text or talk on the phone as much. If you're in a relationship, your relationship is going to be tested. Just be what I guess my biggest thing is just be prepared for a very difficult time in your life. I absolutely 100% believe that you can do it. If nobody else does, know that I believe in you. If I can pass and make it through with all the difficult things that were going through my life during that time, I 100% know you are capable of going to nursing school and passing with no problem and no hesitation. Also, in nursing school, it's a bit different than regular school. You may take an English test in high school and be upset that you didn't get the A. In nursing school, grades do not matter in a sense of if you get an A, great. If you get a B, great. All that matters is that you pass, and you will find out that that is 100% true because it is so difficult. And with things moving at 1,000 miles an hour and having to study so much, learn all different kinds of parts of the body, what they do, all the different diseases, medications, the anatomy and physiology of everything, the science behind what it takes to be a nurse. When you're learning so much, passing alone will just feel like an A. So don't be too hard on yourself if you don't get the grade that you were looking for. As long as you pass, keep moving forward, keep your head up, keep your chin up high, and always know that I believe in you. You probably have my whole comment section. We show a lot of love and support on this channel. We 100% believe in you, and you have to believe in yourself as well. Just be prepared ahead of time for the very difficult time in your life that is coming up. But I know you can do it. I know you can. Next question comes from WAB_the internal. Out of the BTS songs you've heard so far, which ones are your top favorites? To make it easier, you could do a list for BTS group/sub-unit songs on another one of their solos. I actually, shout out to you. You are inspiring me to do another upload. So I will give you a shout out to there as well. I actually am going to be doing the top 15 songs from my 2024 year of reactions. So because of you, you've inspired me to do that video. I'm gonna save your question for those, and you get a whole video. I'm sorry, I'm not picking favorites here, I promise. But that whole video that I'm gonna upload either today or tomorrow is dedicated to you, because you've inspired me to do this video based off of this question. So again, I can't wait to do that. I'm going to have some honorable mentions on there as well because it is so hard to pick, but I actually am going to do a top 15 list because it was even hard to get 15. But when I was reviewing this question earlier, it made me think of that. And we're going to do a whole video based off of my favorite songs of the year 2024 and all the things that I got to react to because of this question. So shout out to you. I hate that I'm not answering this question now, but just wait. It'll be all worth it. When I post that video, it's all dedicated to you. So the next question is asked by, SAFAKO0425. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that because I know I'm going to get it wrong, but I hope I don't hurt your feelings. I'm sorry. Safako? Why do I even try? What are some of your favorite animes and why? How did you become an anime fan? Big anime fan myself. Please geek out. I actually, this is weird. I've never been a big fan of anime. The most I would ever get into anime was as a kid. I'd watch like Pokemon or like Yu-Gi-Oh, Avatar. If you consider those animes, which most of the time in the anime community, they don't really consider Pokemon or even Yu-Gi-Oh as anime. They consider it more as something completely different, which I've never understood, but it's always a trending argument. The first real piece of anime that I can honestly say I've ever watched was Naruto. I remember one time in the summer, I didn't have to work. I wasn't working at that time because I had just recently left a job. It was my first actually nursing job. It didn't go well for me. I was honestly mistreated, but that's a whole different conversation for a different day. I actually had quit my job because it was just getting too much like on me. It was a lot of stress. It was causing a lot of panic attacks. And so I think that I was only my second day off from quitting. I was looking for jobs. I had done applications and I was bored for the day. I was like, well, I've submitted a lot of applications. Now I have to do is wait. What do I do? So I actually was scrolling through Netflix and I just happened to scroll and there was Naruto. And I was like, people always talk about this show. How good can it possibly be? And ever since then, anime has been a big part of my life. I've watched a lot of anime specifically, and I will show you guys here as well. I watch a lot of romance anime. I'm just gonna be real honest with y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. Look, anime list rankings. This is all romance animes. These are all the romance animes I've ever watched in the past, like maybe 2 years. I'm at 64. That's not even including the animes that are outside of romance. So like Naruto, Solo Leveling right now is so darn good. It's so action packed. It's not a romance anime, but it's so dang good. But if you are interested, for anybody who cares, I can give you my favorite top 5 romance animes that I think everybody should watch. You'll absolutely fall in love with it. And you can find these on High Dive, Crunchyroll. But my favorite romance anime of all time is More Than a Married Couple. I absolutely love this anime. It gives the perspective of a male's feelings and stuff like that, and the female's feelings, but mostly the male's feelings and stuff. I love Akari. She's my favorite female anime character of all time when it comes to romance. Absolutely love her. She's a beautiful little girl. He's a handsome young devil. They fit well. They fit well together. Jiru, that's my absolute favorite. Number 2 would be Quintuplets. 3 is Scum's Wish. And Your Lie in April, Real Girl. Those types of animes are my absolute favorite. I love romance anime. But I am watching Solo Leveling at this time. But it started my journey in anime started about 2, maybe 3 years ago. And it just randomly started on a boring day. I was like, what is there to do? Scrolled through, saw Naruto. Let's see what the hype's all about. And it just took off from there. So hope you liked that. I don't know if anybody would ever want me to watch or react to some animes on the channel or on like Patreon moving forward, but they're good. Trust me. The animes I just listed for you, if you haven't seen them, go check them out. I highly recommend it. Highly. Just keep an open mind when it comes to romance, because in a married couple, there are some scenes that you're like, not like, they don't go like too far, but just keep an open mind. Stay with me. Don't think I'm a weird. I promise I'm not. I just love anime. And when watching certain anime, specifically in romance, you may need to keep an open mind for sure. But don't judge, I promise. I'm not a weirdo. Next question actually comes from DUCHESSEBIBI 692 Duchess. That's probably way off. What kind of music do you listen to besides BTS music? Like I was telling y'all, as of recently, it's pretty much just BTS every day. When I'm not listening to BTS, I do listen to a lot of rap music, hip hop, R&B, and country here and there. Outside of BTS, my favorite artists are like Kendrick Lamar. I love Drake as well. George Strait, whole different left field of country. Chris Brown and Tory Lanez. Those are probably like my top artists. But as of the last like year, probably BTS. It's just BTS, let me tell you. Next question comes from Yugi Sajima 7. What does your family think of you being in Army now, and do they think you've changed a lot because of think you've changed a lot because of positively or negatively? I don't know what, honestly, I don't know what my family thinks of me being and Army and a fan of BTS. I will say this, like my brother was kind of the same way like I used to be, which was like, I can't believe you listen to them. Like I don't know if he's ever really given them a shot or he's tried to. My mom actually didn't really care too much for BTS, or didn't really probably care who they were. But after kind of an incident that we kind of went through as a family, I kind of just showed her a few songs, and let me tell you, when I played her Hate You by JK, she lost it. She cried. She was very upset. She loved the song, but like it just brought every emotion out of her listening to that song. There's quite a few songs that I've played her that she really likes, but we haven't really gotten into it too much. But all the little TikToks and stuff like that I post, or like the YouTube shorts of the boys, she always talks about them. She thinks they're kind of pretty much really funny. Some of the stuff that she's seen, I think she likes him. She just doesn't want to admit it yet, but we'll get her to come around. Trust me, we're gonna get her to come around for sure. I will say this, and I've always kind of said this, I do honestly feel like they've noticed a little bit of a difference in me, more of a probably happier side of me. Not that I was ever in a darker place, but I definitely wasn't in the positive, happy state that I have been in the past like year or so. And one thing we all can probably definitely agree with, my family included, is the cussing. For most of y'all that don't know, I used to cuss like a sailor pretty bad. And you can kind of see it in some of my earlier clips and reactions and stuff like that. But compare now to then, I do not hardly cuss at all compared to then. And it was just a horrible habit. And ever since listening to the boys, like they just made me kind of reflect, which some of you have always said, which is kind of ironic because our boys cuss a lot. Or don't cuss a lot, but they definitely do cuss. You know, that doesn't bother me. Like I say, I still say the occasional, like maybe damn or something then, or I might be like, he looking good as hell or something. I don't know. Like I kind of just throw them out here and there, but not really. But as far as like dropping F-bombs and S-bombs and all those, like I really kind of reflected off my life and just wanted to change certain aspects of it. And cussing was definitely one of them. And so I know my family has definitely noticed that as well. I know they've kind of, maybe it didn't bother them, but they did know that I used to have a big potty mouth. And so I know that they've noticed that as well, that big significant change in my life with not having to cuss as much. But I do definitely think they notice a difference, a more positive difference, not a negative by any means. They would definitely say it's a positive difference, but we don't really get to talk about it too much. But anytime they get the chance to ask me how the channel's going, how's BTS, they know they're in the military and they're coming back and stuff. And they take time to ask certain questions like that just to, you know, stir some conversation because they know how passionate I am about BTS and Army. Next question comes from Mad. I'm going to get this wrong. You know what? MADHUMITHA 4008. What is your first thought about BTS before coming an Army? I am not afraid to admit, I like the first time I ever heard of BTS was the song Dynamite. And I was actually working at Gap at the time here in Lubbock. I was working at the Gap factory on the PA system. Eventually, because, you know, we play music throughout the store, towards the end, they actually started playing Dynamite towards the end of the time that I was there. And I remember that there were these two girls there who loved the song. And like I said, I knew it was BTS. I had kind of heard the song off and on. I didn't really care too much for it. I was just kind of one of those haters. I can't even lie. I was one of those people that was just like, didn't want to give them a chance. I didn't want to acknowledge them as good artists. I didn't care to listen to them. I didn't want to give them a chance. And anytime those two girls would get excited, they would sing to the song. I can't lie. I would just kind of like rain on their parade. I was such a negative Nancy, and I hated that part of my life because that was probably a time where I was just very selfish and didn't care much for others at that time in my life. I was going through a difficult process of being like in nursing school. And so I think it all was starting to take a toll, and I really just started taking it out on others for no reason. And I never wanted to give them a chance. I always said I would never give them the chance or the time of day to even try to listen to their music. And then weirdly enough, kind of ironically, like I said, the JK video came up years later with Usher standing next to you. And I'm like, hey, let me listen to this. I had no idea JK was even in the group. And ever since then, I've been kicking myself in the butt for it every single damn day. If I just wouldn't have been so negative, if I wouldn't have been so just ugly and just, would have given them the chance, given them the time of day, I would have been enjoying the boys all the way since like ever since that day I heard Dynamite on the music system at Gab, while I was working. I'd have been with the boys for a long time now. I probably would have created the YouTube channel a long time ago. And instead I wanted to be ugly. I wanted to be nasty and mean about the boys and their music and anybody who liked them. I hate myself for it every single day. And for a lot of people are like, you find BTS when you're supposed to. I hate myself every day for it. I absolutely hate myself every single day for it. I hate how ugly I was to them for liking their music. I would always rip on them for it. Like I said, just rain on their parade. It's examples like this why I say all the time, BTS changed me for the better. I no longer do that. I see the positive mindset that BTS has, and I think that's kind of reflected and stuck to me, because it also made me realize how ugly and just stupid and mean I was being, and I never want to do that again. I never want to make anybody feel that way again. And I've apologized to these girls separately. They said it was fine. They knew that I was just teasing or whatever like that, and they knew I didn't mean any harm. I just didn't like the group at the time, but that they've seen some, because I still have them on social media, and I used to promote my videos on the social media all the time. It'd be like, we saw that you ironically became a fan and stuff, so it all kind of worked out. They were good sports about it, so shout out to them. I was so ugly before BTS when it came to BTS, not to just anybody for any reason, but I just didn't see what all the hype was about, even though I had never listened to a song. And boy, am I shooting myself every day in the foot for it. Oh my God, I hate myself every day. Next question actually comes from I Heart Purple for Life. Outside of being a reactor, what are some things you enjoy? I kind of talked about this earlier a little bit. Gaming is definitely high on my list, which is why I have the gaming channel. I love going to the gym. I love playing softball. I would say aside from those things, one thing I definitely love to do is spend time with family. I have a new house. As most of y'all know, I moved into my new house. I was living with my parents, saving up some money just, so that I could move out and stuff like that. And so I always like to work on the house sometimes as well, fix things, get new furniture or whatever the case. But yeah, I definitely would like to say that I like to spend time with family, work on the house, play basketball. I love playing basketball as well. Those are some kind of other things, but definitely gaming. If you ask me anything outside of BTS, gaming. I'm always gaming all the time. You've been a supporter for a long time, but I feel like I always say this name wrong. Lena 808 Waterwing. This person has definitely been a supporter of the channel for a while. How do you like your new place? I absolutely love it. I wanted something that was comfortable. I wanted a starter home. I didn't want something that was too big. As a starter home in case maybe things just didn't work out. I didn't want something too small, something with just the right amount of space, and it definitely is just the right amount of space. I live in a great neighborhood, great side of town, not too far from work, so it's easy to travel to, especially with the snow and the cold and freezing that comes with the cold season, the cold winter weather and stuff like that. So I definitely love my new place, although I will say my neighbors aren't quite the friendliest. They're not mean. It's just anytime I've ever waved or been like, hey, how you doing? Nobody ever waves back. I've probably have waved 5 times and Martin never gives a wave back. So it's been quite the experience. I love it. They mind their own business. I mind my own business and stuff like that. But I will say, they're not the friendliest, but they're not mean either. Other than that, I love my new place. So thank you for that question. I didn't think anybody was going to ask that question. So that really means a lot. That touches me. Thank you. Thank you for asking that. Matt actually asked another question, which I did not know. Otherwise, I would have got to it earlier. So I do apologize. But it says, did you feel any change in your behavior after becoming an army? Personally, I became more mature and a better person. I'd have to agree with you. Aside from the cussing and stuff like that, what I really noticed was how much I would wake up and enjoy my day a lot better. I've noticed that I would start kind of waking up with just a positive mindset. Sometimes you wake up and you're just like, I don't want to go to work, or I don't want to do this, I'm tired. Ever since I kind of started listening to the boys, especially listening to them on my way to work, I just can't help that I'm going to attack today. I'm not going to let today, I'm not going to let the day defeat me. I'm going to attack it head on. We're going to have a great day. I've noticed that my moods have definitely been more positive. Whereas before, maybe I'd have a positive mood one day. I'd be tired. Maybe I don't feel like going to work, I'm just having a low kind of day, my moods have definitely been more positive. And on the days that I have those negative feelings, or maybe I'm just a bit upset or something, I do always have you guys, family, friends, and BTS definitely to always fall back on. But I definitely have been waking up for the past like year and a half in a way better mood, like way better mood, starting the day off positive and just attacking the day head on. I'm not going to let it defeat me. And on the days that I can't lie, I'm not always victorious. Some days it does defeat me. I know that I have an amazing family and people around me to keep around that also can support and love and keep me positive and keep my spirits up, and also BTS to fall back on as well. And most of the days that I have a bad day, coming home to react to BTS and upload videos for you guys cures everything. So yeah, I definitely would say that would be the biggest change in my behavior that I've noticed. Natalia7 says, here are my questions for you. I hope that I can ask more than one question. That's perfectly fine. First question is, what is the last thing you watched or listened to that genuinely gave you chills? Personally, as far as watch slash listen to, it honestly would have to be something, I don't know if you're relating it to BTS, or whether it can be aside from BTS, but it is BTS. I mean, the answer is going to be BTS. I'm not going to lie to you. I wanted to make sure, I'm actually going through my list of uploads here, because actually the first thing that comes to mind, I just want to make sure I'm not missing something. The upload for Euphoria, that gave me chills. From, with the homie JK and his performance, that song and the performance for that song gave me absolute chills. I've gotten like chills here and there like recently, but the last like wow moment that I've had was the Euphoria reaction. Yeah, that was insane. That performance is absolutely insane. His voice is absolutely insane. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, damn, chills already just thinking about it. That reaction is actually pretty dope. That performance is pretty dope. The song is dope. It's all around just dope. What's the biggest lesson you've learned since your first day on the job? I'm assuming referring to nursing. You're not gonna like everyone you work with, but don't let people being negative and people maybe being kind of rude or disrespectful to you, don't let anybody else's work ethic, just overall don't let anybody impact you in your day and your work. You can try your hardest to love everybody and get along with everybody, but that isn't always going to be the case, right? But don't let it affect how you feel towards your job, where you work. Some people, I guess you could say, sometimes misery loves company. If people are, living in that misery, sometimes they'll want to kind of bring you down, or have that negative energy around you as well. You may not always like the people that you work with, but that's okay. You don't have to get along with everybody. Just don't let it affect you and your work and where it, loving your job. Because I absolutely love my job. Absolutely love it. And the people that I do work with, I've just worked in the past. Maybe you kind of heard me mention it earlier about how I had to quit a job because of it was taking a toll on me and my body and the panic attacks. And I had never gone through panic attacks until that time. It was because of the people I worked with. So that has been the biggest lesson for me moving forward, was to find somewhere. And where I'm working at now, absolutely we get spoiled. We, as the employees, we get treated really well. We get snacks and goodies and treats and stuff all the time. They respect us. They love us. It's okay to leave certain places. But moving forward, I will not let anybody ever affect where I work ever again. And if it does ever get to affect my job like it did before in the past, I know that it's time to move, because my health is, I'm not wanting to risk my health anymore. Like as far as the panic attacks and the stress, I'll just kindly move on to somewhere else and keep trying, because I don't like the negative energy anymore. If I can help it, I'm not going to let it affect my day. But if for some reason it starts to find me no matter what, and it really starts to take a toll, then I move on, because my health is, I no longer play with that anymore. I'm not risking anything. So those are kind of my lessons. I hope that makes sense. It's a little confusing, but I hope that makes sense. Number 3, if you had to pick a roommate from BTS, who would you choose and why? This one is tough, but I honestly think I would pick either Suga or Jin. I don't know why. I don't know. Like, if I could pick 2, I feel like they'd be great vibes all the time. Suga feels like he'd be more like peace and quiet when I'm here at home. When I'm not recording, I definitely love the peace and quiet, just watching YouTube or just relaxing. I don't know why Jin came to my mind, but Jin, let's become roommates. Let's make that happen. I think that'd be dope. 4th question is, if you could choose one non-BTS song for each member to cover, what songs would you pick? That is actually insane. I would definitely need to take some time to think about that. So I'm going to come back to that at a different time, and we're going to talk about it. Again, I might have to include it like in an upload and dedicate that solely to you. That is a great question, and I'm gonna need some time to think about it. So if you'll be patient, give me some time, because that is a great question. And the 5th question is, if you could completely erase your memory of one anime, movie, game, or music album just to experience it again for the first time, which would you pick and why? I won't lie to you. If it's a TV show or movie or anything like that, Naruto, easy. I love who Naruto is as a person. I love the story of Naruto and Naruto Shippuden. Yeah, this is what made me fall in love with anime, was this show. So I would love to experience that, feeling the show all over again. If I could pick a show / movie, it'd be this one. When it comes to songs or anything like that, or an album, honestly, I would say JK, Standing Next to You, just because then I would get to experience all of BTS all over again. I can't just pick one song or album. I really can't. So I would want to erase all of BTS completely, go back and relive these moments with y'all together again. Next question goes to Solar Kim 5847. Have you seen any Korean dramas? Could you see some on your Patreon? I've been recommended a few. I've never actually seen any K-dramas. The K-drama that V actually stars in, I thought maybe we could watch on the channel if y'all were interested, but I don't know. Like, I've never really, I've been recommended some K-dramas in the past. I even think I have some written down from you guys. I've just never actually watched any, but trust me, I get recommended them quite frequently. Especially people that are close to me recommend many K-dramas to me. I've just never pulled the trigger on it yet. But I don't know. Is there any K-dramas? Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Is there any K-dramas you guys would recommend? And last question actually goes to One Fine Day. Says, I hope it's not too late. I only have one question, but you have to give me 7 answers. What trait / traits do each of the 7 members of BTS and you have in common? Again, I'm going to try my best. We're going to start with RM. I would say I'm not as intelligent as he is, but I think a trait that we both have is just great knowledge. I mean, like I said, I'm a nurse. I don't want to toot my own horn and just say like, oh, all nurses just are super smart and stuff. But I will say RM has great knowledge. I mean, we all saw and know how intelligent he is and his IQ. My IQ, I would like to think, is really high, but nowhere near that high. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. Not as high as his, is what I mean. But I would say the trait that me and him possess is that we're both knowledgeable. We both have great knowledge. And yeah, so I would say that was RM. With Jin, I would say our love for cooking. Even though I love to cook and bake and stuff like that, I'm still learning. But I would say our love for cooking is definitely something that we both share. I definitely love to bake more than I love to cook. Am I as good as a cook or baker as Jin? Probably not, but I mean, I'm pretty good. Okay, I'm pretty good. Just not as good as him. JK, I would say, I don't know if this is necessarily a trait, but him being the youngest of the 7 of them, I am actually the youngest when it comes to my brother. And not only my brother, my cousins, all my cousins, my brother, my cousins, all them, I am the youngest. There were 4 or 5 of us growing up. There was about 5 of us growing up, and we would all grow up together. And especially on the summers, over the summers, we would spend this whole entire summer where our parents were at work at my grandparents' house. Yeah, so every day we were playing outside or this and this and this. I was the youngest, and I was treated as so. Kind of the same way the boys treat JK, being the younger sibling. I kind of had that all the time with them as well. So I would say that we're both the youngest of our groups. That's for sure. I would say when it comes to Jimin, I would say the trait that me and him probably both share is I get really shy easily as well. You would think I wouldn't, but I actually do. And I get more shy more times than not here on the channel recording videos and stuff, like especially with like my laugh or smiling. Like I always cover sometimes because I just get real embarrassed. And we know how shy and embarrassed Jimin easily can get as well. I mean, he has the ability to flip a switch and not be embarrassed and be real, you know, in tune with how beautiful he is as a person and give you those looks and everything. But at other times he is definitely shy as well. So I would definitely say that's a trait that we both possess. And I can't lie, as far as like Suga, J-Hope, and V, I don't know. I would have to think about that and come back to you on that. If there's anything y'all notice that y'all want to point out, please do. But I can't lie, I can't think of really anything for V, J-Hope, or Suga. I would say probably like my love for hip hop and rap as much as Suga loves rap and hip hop. V, I know that he plays the saxophone. The saxophone is actually my favorite instrument of all time. And I found out he plays the saxophone, or he used to play the saxophone. And then J-Hope, I don't know, maybe ours just being spontaneous. Like J-Hope says the most randomest things or does the most randomest dances out in public or something, and they're just freaking hilarious. I would say the ability to be spontaneous with me and J-Hope. Like I could sometimes just do random stuff or start dancing or singing randomly out in public. Like I maybe would say, does that count? You guys will have to let me know, but if I had to say anything, I would say those. That's gonna go to right there, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed. I thought it would have been a little bit differently to kind of do like a Q&A and stuff like that. So again, hope you guys enjoyed. But that's gonna go to right there. If there's any comments, questions, or anything else you want to leave in the comment section, maybe for another future Q&A, just leave that comment or question in the comment section down below. Also, it would really mean a lot to me if you guys would hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as all these things help with the channel moving forward. And until next time, peace.